may not have forensic experience, but I'm experienced, I do it, right? I've got enough experience, right? So you can still justify. In fact, it's a very unfair system. I always tell doctors, right? The legal system is actually a game, right? Where you have to play according to our rules. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but bo pian, you have to play according to the rules. And the rules are what the judges in the Court of Appeal decide at a particular time, right? So there was this case where the issue was, how much is the value of a diamond ring? So who is the expert in the case? Lo and behold, the expert is a lawyer, The lawyer's evidence was allowed to go in to say that he assessed the value of the diamond ring at X amount of dollars, right? Okay, so you're also required to state how often you have appeared in court, how many times for the plaintiff, how many times for the defendant, all right? Next, the next criteria you have to fulfill is you have to, in your report, tell the court what your complete instructions are. Now, you can't let the lawyers get away with this. Whenever you get a brief from the lawyer, you actually have to tell the lawyer, can you frame the issues for me to give an opinion? Right? It is the lawyer's duty to frame the issues for you to give an opinion. Right? Some lawyers don't do their job, so as a result, the psychiatrist has to do everything and then write a report, and then you look at the report. So what issues am I actually, asked to opine on? Is it just medical condition? That's it. Right? So you've got to ask your lawyer, what do you want me? Frame the issues. Please frame it for me. So these are all mother statements. State the facts that you know to be true, the facts that your lawyer has instructed you to assume, the facts that you yourself have assumed, and then put them all together and come up with your statement of facts. Okay, next criteria. State the sources of information. Now, your sources usually come from two areas. From documents that your lawyer has given you. Could be medical, could be from doctors, occupational therapies, what have you. And then from interviews, right? Interviews not just with the patient, but also with third parties and relevant sources. Any tests that you've done, you have to include. This is very important, right? This is something that some psychiatrists don't, because it's more convenient to leave out facts which are adverse to your case. But you are doing yourself a disservice, because the strongest way to prove that your report is a considered one is to seize the opponent's argument and deal head on. Okay, rather than say, oh, since you brought it up, this is my answer. Right? Right? So the emphasis, you need to deal with the differing opinion, not just state. And finally, after having gone through all of that, state your conclusions in one paragraph. Right? This is what the requirement is in Form 58. Now, and finally, you have your sumpah. I so-and-so declare that the opinion I gave is accurate and complete. Right? And that my primary duty is to court. Okay? So we lock you in already. Right? Okay, the next bit I'm going to touch on. Am I going a bit too fast? Is this space okay? Right. So now these are all the criteria set out in Form 58. Please get in touch with the Secretariat, and she'll be more than happy to give you a set of my notes as well as Form 58. So these are some of my views on making the report readable. Right? So I've got 7 of them. Use short sentences, simple words. Now, there is actually a diagnostic tool called the Gunning, G-U-N-N-I-N-G, FOG, F-O-G, Index, GFI, which will help you to determine how readable your report is. Go back and Google it and then apply the test. Right? So your report will be very, very readable if it is below 10, the score is below 10. So, and then you have paragraphs. Please number your paragraphs. If you got a 100-page document, you don't number your paragraphs. Very, very hard for your lawyer to locate. Very, very hard for the court to locate. So please number your paragraphs. Use active voice because it's more engaging. Use captions. Captions are your signposts. Use tables to show relationships. So for example, in the Court of Appeal case of public prosecutor against Ong Pang Siu, the Court of Appeal actually drew a table, and then they had IMH psychiatrists observations in one column, Dr. Tommy Tan's observations in another column. So straight away you know which are the areas that they differ. Right, so the table is a very powerful tool. And appendices. This is useful if you want your opinion to deal with the issues. So your report contains your opinion. Your report may only be 4 pages, right? Your opinion may be 4, but they are very valuable because they deal with maybe the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions that your lawyer has posed to you. And then your history is actually attached as an appendix at the back, right? So in summary, your primary duty is to court. You are to assist within your expertise. You should render the same opinion for the other side, and you should consider all relevant facts. These are your 4 duties. These are the 7 criteria that is in Form 58. Okay, at the end of the day, make it easy for your reader. Make it easy for your reader to understand. Make it easy for your reader to locate. Make it easy for him to use the information. Alright, so sorry, before I give you end of the last slide, I was just talking to Tommy. As lawyers, we try to make it very, very difficult for our psychiatrist friends. Right? So what do I mean by that? Okay, I have a criminal brief, all right? I'm defending a client, or I'm prosecuting an accused person, right? And then the accused person has been diagnosed to have psychiatric disorder. So lo and behold, we go to the community court, and the community court judge say, Mr. Cheong, can you please write to IMH to see whether there's a causal link between the mental disorder and the offense, right? So the lawyer, without thinking, dear doctor, is there a causal link between the mental disorder and the offense? Is that a fair question to frame to the psychiatrist? I won't do that to my worst enemies. What do you mean by causal link? Is it a sole link? Is it a major link? Is it a minor link? If so, to what extent? What is the offense in question? Which part are we talking about? The mental part, the physical part, which point in time? Right? It came about, this causal link came about because it's very easy for the court and for lawyers to tai chi. Right? We like to tai chi to you because easy, we tai chi to you. If you say got causal link, right? If you say so, it must be so. Right? So we were very like, just tai chi to you. If you say so, it's causal link. Yes, of course. We are used to the game. If you say it's insane, of course it's insane. If you say it's abnormality of mind that substantially impairs it, of course it's abnormality. That's what we are used to. But don't let the lawyers get away with it. If you are not comfortable with the question, come back and ask, what do you mean? Right? When I write, when I ask psychiatrists to give an opinion, I try to be as specific as possible. If there's a mental condition, did the mental condition affect the accused's judgment, for example? And if so, in what way? Right? So at least the psychiatrist knows what he's opining. So don't let the lawyers get away with it. So, but if the lawyer does ask you to for an opinion whether there's a causal link between the mental disorder and the offense in question, maybe you can ask the lawyer this question: is there a causal link between education and crime? right? So you ask